Good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino on a Beer Review with his deep fried ravioli that his wife made. How is everybody today? I know in some ways we're a little earlier than usual. In some ways we're a little later. Depends on where in the world you are. We have a beer poured from Counterpart Brewing, Pizza Pills. It was sent to me by the one and only Brian, so thank you very much, Brian. So we're just chewing there. Did review it. Hello, mister. How are you? It's a good beer. It's good beer. As soon as we get another person in, I might drink my beers a little faster because I'm going to review them quickly, like quick reviews between takes, and I'll shut my microphone off when I do it. It's Pizza Pills. It's not a bad beer. It's weird though, because it smells perfectly normal out of the glass, but then out of the can, it has like a minty note to it. It's odd to me, but it tastes really good. So I've got like some garlic encrusted chicken that my wife has made, and yeah. And my deep fried ravioli. My wife tries to feed me to make me never go anywhere else. She doesn't know that I'm never going anywhere anyway. One reason is she got me fat again, and who wants me now? When she first started dating me, there was a lot of people that wanted me. Now I'm just a fat old albino whose body is broken. And I say that as truly broken, like I do a day's worth of work and I get home and I can't move for a while. My back, my ankles, my shoulders, everything is dying. It's all falling apart. Between the work I did in the Arctic and, you don't think running a grocery store would be all that hard, but when you're in the Arctic and you're doing everything by hand, you're unloading the plane by hand, then you're loading it into your store by hand, and then you have your sea lift come up, or you have your winter road come up, and you're unloading 40,000 pounds of cargo out of the truck by hand. It destroys your body. And then sports and everything else, it's not. And then where I'm working, we sell, most of our items are over 200 pounds. So, you're lifting a lot of weight all day, or you're moving skids all day, or you're doing this all day, or you're doing it. It doesn't do well. Now, I don't know if you've had this beer, Brian, and if you're still setting your stuff up so you can't hear me, I'll ask you when you get on here. But if you haven't had this beer, Did you pick up on like a touch of mint on it? Because that's the weird thing for me is there's a touch of mint to me. I'm also going to pass this link off to. Okay, nope, you didn't taste it, so I'm just weird. I got it. I'm also going to pass this link off to Jeffrey, in case Jeffrey wants to join us. Because people are always allowed to come hang out with us. Chat with us, all that fun stuff. Okay, you jump off. I'll be here. Here, I even have my headphones here for when you show up. See, we can do this. Yeah. And again, I know we're early. We do have a few topics to talk about tonight. Not a lot, but a few. So Brian did send me a few things too. And we'll talk about some of them when he gets on here. Good day, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Well, you know, I'm here.
Nice. Nice.
So
I meant to mention, I was going to say, hey, save this beer for on here, but I forgot to say it earlier in the week. The Deer Abbey. But
I do still have it.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
Cool.
So in a little bit, I can actually pull it out of the box because I've decided to use the box to store my beer for currently. Deep fried ravioli.
Nice. So what's going on? I know you're eating. It's like a dentist question.
Not much, man. Freezing rain yesterday with a little bit of snow. Everything was melted up until then. And then it was like, ha ha ha, we're coming back, motherfuckers.
Have you been watching the weather for Ontario for this weekend?
Yes, I've seen that you guys have been a little fucked up too.
Well, we're okay where I am. But like anything like Burlington and eastward and northern of that, not so good, potentially.
Yeah, I heard Peterborough is in difficult times.
Yeah, and my grandfather lives there, and he's actually moving from his apartment to another apartment, like, I don't know, it's tomorrow or Monday or something.
Well, that must be a horrible time to try and move.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the worst part of that, like there was freezing rain last night in Peterborough and Gravenhurst and Muskoka and all that, and it's like today it stopped for a bit, and then I get some snow, and then I get more freezing rain.
Oh, that's just perfect.
Yeah, and then more snow again or something. Like, yeah.
And I hear a lot of
So,
them are without power.
some little bit of areas are out, but I think by the time tomorrow rolls around, it'll be a whole other story with the amount of rain that fell last night. I guess tonight's supposed to be more.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, what was your reaction when you went to the post office the other day?
So my postal clerk was this little tiny Filipino lady.
Yeah.
And I said to my wife, because I was working later that night,
Yeah.
and she's on an early shift now. I'm like, hey, why don't you find out if the package is ready and just pick it up? Because, sometimes they don't scan it in as ready right away.
Yeah.
So she went in and she's like, hey, no rush or anything. If it's not ready, it's not ready. But I just wanted to check on this package. And the lady's like, oh, it just came off the truck now. And she's like, okay. So she left, and she came to pick me up. And I'm like, hey, we have half an hour till we're due where we need to be. Do you want to go and get it now? She's like, sure. So we go. And I bring it in, and the little Filipino lady goes to the back to get it. And she's like coming out like fucking strutting like this, trying to get it out there. And I'm like, what the fuck did this man say? And she puts it up on the counter. I'm like, holy mother of pearl, what the fuck is in this thing? And then I saw the weight, and I'm like, what the actual? I get it out to the car. I'm like, it's a good thing it wasn't ready when you got there, because you would have killed us both. She goes, why? How much does it weigh? And I told her. She goes, yeah, you both would have fucking died. Like, I would have flown back to fucking Niagara Falls to shank him. But yeah, no, I did not. I did not expect that at all.
Yeah, well, like I had one sit here, and I started doing the little boxes, right? And like, okay, what's the price on that? Like, I got this massive box. Let's see what the price of that would be. I'm like, that's yeah, that's the way I'm doing it. I was so glad that you opened up that little box first, though.
Why were you just so glad about that?
Just because you videoed it and be able to see your reactions when you saw the glass.
I got excited, and then I saw who it was, and I'm like, motherfucking fuck.
Yeah, I've had that glass for a few weeks before I sent it, and I'm like, oh. I think last time we were on, I had it sitting over there within view of me. I'm like, wait till he gets his new beer glass.
Fucking hate that man. And and this brewery's beer is no good. Like,
yeah, I don't know if I've ever had it.
you should hope you haven't.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just asking my wife if there's anything left, because that's how good it was.
Well, that's good to hear.
Well, everything she cooks is good.
Yeah.
I get these. She just learned how to make samosas, so she makes those now.
Nice.
She's been making me a bunch of Thai food so that she doesn't I don't have to buy frozen dinners for work.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's learning all the stupid weird things that I like to eat, and she's cooking them, so that's great.
Nice.
I mean, she cooks them to my spice level, so she doesn't always like what happens to her later that night, but
well, yeah. That happens.
Yeah, but that's on her. She's the reason for that. Yeah.
How's work been? Pretty good?
We are so full that you can't move.
Mm,
And apparently every single store is in the same boat.
yeah.
And I had a call from my boss, and she's like, "Oh, we just got off the safety call, and apparently the fire department is after us about this and this and this." And I go, "Okay, are the stores going to start getting less stock?" She's like, "No," and I go, "Well, what the fuck do you want?"
Yeah. Now, do you think they're just shoving you guys full of stock because some of that stuff may be coming from the States just to get it across the border?
It's because their DCs are full. They ordered way too much.
Yeah.
So they have 3 distribution centers, and they're all filled.
Yeah.
Ooh, what do we got going on here?
I don't know.
Okay. There's apparently lots of leftovers, so I got to go up in a few minutes and get some.
Ooh.
I know, I'm
So,
excited.
do you find are people still purchasing as much, or has it kind of been pulled back a bit?
Well, yeah, we get a lot of purchases and a lot of big purchases still.
Yeah.
Like the amount of go-karts we've sold in the last week.
Oh yeah. Oh, plus, is it go karting season soon?
I guess so. I don't but that's the problem with the store, right? Is all the stuff we sell is pretty damn large and we have nowhere to put it.
Yeah.
So you get stuck in this void of what do we do with this? And you're just fighting it the whole time. What should I do
Yeah.
with it? And we don't have a yard or anything. Like we get all these earth augers and stuff that attach to a 3-point hitch. Where the fuck am I putting that? That's a 400-pound box. It's 8 feet long, right? Like
Yeah.
so
Going
you're just sitting there fighting. What's that? Ooh, an
with
ultra.
Michelob. Yeah. Just because I got the glass.
Ooh, look at that.
I hate it. It's a small one.
Is it one of the flute glasses that they used for like Molson M and all that?
It's a skinny.
Yeah.
I don't know
Okay.
if you can see it or not.
Yep.
The one that, I'm pretty sure it'll only hold the can, the small can.
So I got to check, like I said in that chat for next week, if we can get any English beers here for when we have Dave on.
Yeah. Yeah, I was literally just sitting in my living room when he was talking. I'm like, if Chad says, "Oh, we go right now," I'll be like, "All right."
Yeah, no, I my daughter had friends over at the time, so I couldn't go drinking at that point.
True.
And at that point, I was the only adult in the house. So,
Fair enough. Yeah, gotta be responsible.
yep. Didn't want to be though. Didn't want to be.
Yeah. The temptation's probably there, eh?
It was. It was.
Just the fact that he was like, "Hey, are you going on?" Yeah. So that glass holds this can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put my dishwasher on before I came down, and I'm like, "Oh, my other glass is dirty." I'm like, "Oh, guess I'm using the one I don't use."
Yours is in my sink right now. I got to clean it
Nice.
tonight. I was hoping that possibly there'd be more of us so that I could run away for a second or two. But I do want to. I don't. Did you read that news article you sent me about the solar powered brewery?
A little bit of it.
I'm really kind of intrigued by that. Like,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's not something you really hear about often, and to see a brewery that's truly trying to be carbon neutral is interesting too. Like there is a lot of them that will do things that are carbon neutral, be it if it's like heat reclamation or
Yeah.
recycling or donating to farms or there's a lot of hot water recycling. There's a lot of things that happen, but I've never seen one that's actually truly fully 100% solar powered.
And the interesting part with that would be you could put up, if it is feasible to do, is that you could get someone putting a brewery up in the middle of nowhere with a extremely fresh water source
Yep.
without being like, oh, hey, we trucked it in, or,
Well, that's Creemore, right? Creemore did truck runs daily to their Creemore Spring.
Yeah.
And then I hear that you have even more beer stores closing.
Yeah, well, like you said, that was part of the deal with the government. Oh, hey, you can sell it in the store, but now we're going to shut down all the beer stores.
The beer stores are making it sound like it's because there's too much competition.
Well, it's a bit of both, right? But if you read the agreement that the government put, it said, so many stores have to stay open until such and such a date. And then you can close more. So.
I did just get a text message from Chris this morning, and he was talking about how he just walked out of an LCBO and he saw a large bottle of Chimay Red in the LCBO again for the first time in a long time. Then he's like, remember when we used to be able to buy it for like $4? It's $10.60 now.
Wow.
And I was thinking about it. So it's a 750 milliliter bottle. $10.60 isn't bad for the current state of beer when you figure that a lot of times you're paying like $5 for a 500 milliliter can here in Ontario or Saskatchewan or anything like that.
Or even the smaller cans.
Yeah, so like $10.60 from across the ocean isn't horrible.
Yeah, to ship it here, right?
Yep. I really hope I can find some English beer.
Was he one of the guys that you're trying to get on?
Yes.
The last 2 months? Yeah.
He was the Urban. He still does the Urban Viking Ale review, but he was the Urban Viking, and he had a big plastic Viking helmet. And he sent me a beer mail once, and he sent me one of the helmets, and that helmet was worn by almost every single person that's done beer reviews in Ontario. Because anyone that would come to visit, we'd wear the helmet in tribute to Dave. And and then he had a stroke, which took him out of the beer game for a long time, and now he's in it again.
Oh, that's good.
What other beers do I got up here? Okay. We got Peaks New England Pilsner.
Ooh.
That'll be my next beer.
Yeah, I realize there's a lot of IPAs sent in that box, but
it is what it is. I mean, some IPAs are good, and
that
brewery does make some good ones. So just gonna get this up on here. Then I'm gonna run upstairs quickly and grab my leftovers before my son eats it all, and then we will be back.
All right.
New England Pilsner, but it looks like they have more. Okay, this is that one. They have more than one.
Yeah, I think so.
Matuka. Okay, I will be right back. There's no one talking to us right now, but you're still in charge of the chat room while I'm gone.
Oh, I won't see anything.
No, you won't. But you can talk. You can.
That's true. Yeah, we know you're old. We know. I really don't know what to say tonight. Yeah, talking to myself. Yeah, hi. Grab some beers. Put on hold. Ugh. Doing some cleaning. Ugh. Well, hopefully there's someone new showing up. I cannot see the chat window if anything's popped up. Mr. Rhino is the one in charge of that. Blindly, more blind than he is right now. But yeah, I should get my snacks out. What kind of night would it be if I'm not munching on chips? Oop. Oh, I think we can hear him coming back. I thought he was just making noise. But I'm still around. I'm just moving some stuff, grabbing some stuff. Ugh. There we go.
Holy shit!
What? You can't hear me. Well, what? What's going on, dude? What's going on?
Oh.
Yeah? I know you can't hear me.
I'm back.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Missed a lot of dead air.
I bet I did.
I swept the floor a little bit. I poured myself some chips because I have to, and then I just put some beer, some more ultras in my fridge to cool down. Because it's going down pretty easy, so I'm like really holding back.
Okay, Peaks Matuka. So we're doing this just to keep some content going. Because, hey, Good day, YouTube. Good day, YouTube. Good day, YouTube. Good day, YouTube. Brian sent this. It's Peaks New England Pilsner from Counterpart, and it's the Matuka variant. So Matuka is the hop that they're using, 4.6% alcohol by volume. We're doing you really quickly. doing you really quickly, and then we're going to do the rest on here. Oh. So is it going to be hazy crazy? Which to me wouldn't be a Pilsner. So I mean, I would want it to kind of look like that, to be see-through. But when you say New England, I always think of hazy shit now because of the Pilsners and not the Pilsner, sorry, the Pale Ales. A little bit of floral notes, kind of like chrysanthemum, jasmine, and passion fruit. Doesn't smell bad. Cheers. Well, it's 4.6, so you could drink a lot of them. It's very easy drinking. It's very light. You do still get that earthy, dirty, cut grass flavoring that you get from most Pilsners, but it also has a lot of citrus fruit. I don't mind that. I'd buy that again. I'd give that a 7. I'm going to go away now. Bye. I would have turned off the mic, but it's just me and you.
It's no big deal.
Yeah, no, that's a good one too. I mean,
how would you improve that one?
How would I improve that?
Yeah.
I think the only real thing to say with that question is instead of just using like Matuku, maybe bring in some other of the citrus forward hops, or maybe balance it back with some Belma or something. Just something to bring in a little more to it, because what it's doing is you still get the Pilsner flavor up at the forefront, and then you get hit with the New England hop at the back, but you kind of want something just in that middle.
Okay.
But it's a good beer. Like, I would buy that. I'd buy pints of that at the bar.
Nice. Have you been to any of your local breweries in the last few weeks?
I bought a few things from Multinational a little bit ago, but that's about the extent of what I've done with my local breweries.
Okay.
I do a monthly get together with my warehouse staff, and we hit up Birmingham's Vodka and Ale House last time.
Ooh.
Which is a place that has 3 locations in Saskatchewan, Saskatoon, and 2 here in Regina.
Okay.
And it's a really nice place, really cool food, lots of beer choices. Not a lot of them are anything spectacular, but lots of beer choices regardless. And then you have things like pool tables there and pinball machines and all that type of stuff. So it's a good time to go out and have some fun with your buddies and stuff.
Now, is that strictly like workers, or does you guys include your significant others?
We do it strictly as the team.
Cool. That's cool.
And I think our next one, we're going to an Indian buffet, because we have a lot of workers that are from India on our night team. So to get them to come out, we're like, let's do something that they would enjoy instead of just going to pubs all the time.
That's cool.
And then we've talked about laser tag, and we've talked about a lot of different things, escape rooms. So we're doing something different all the time, just team building and having fun.
So now, was this going on before you got there?
No.
So you kind of introduced it?
Yep.
Nice. That's cool. Very cool.
Well, yeah, like the people that worked back there when the last person was in charge back there, they're like, we didn't do any of this when he was back there. I go, yeah, but I'm not him. Like, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to bring people together instead of just saying it's this guy's fault or that guy's fault or this or that. I want us to work as a team.
Yeah.
And I get it, like it's stressful back there. I get it.
Yeah. I'm drinking. Oh, I just cracked open a. You've already had this one, Zodiac, Omnipollo Zodiac,
Mm-hmm.
6.2%, and I snagged the things and then I realized, oh, you've had this one, so I never sent it to you. And
I'm
then there
curious
was
if you're
one
gonna
that.
like it.
Sorry.
I'm curious if you're gonna like it.
For some reason, I haven't. I've had it before. I have had this because this is at Blackburn. I've had it in a little off the draft
Oh, okay.
in a little taster.
And did you like it?
I remember. Yes, I did.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Can I describe it to you? No, I am not good at describing anything. Yeah. Let's try and read the can, see if there's anything. Oh, production date. Let's see. How old are they selling me?
From the LCBO, probably fairly old.
No. This would have been. You know what? All those things I sent you,
Mm-hmm.
I got either at a farmer's market or at a brewery. There was no
Really?
LCBO. Yep,
Where the hell were you finding Omnipollo?
Blackburn. They do some guest taps and stuff. And I also think they might be doing some contract brewing. So if they're brewing it, they can sell on the draft.
Well, Omnipollo is usually brewed in Toronto. The stuff sold in Ontario.
Oh, this is cool. I'm going to show you something after this is empty.
Okay.
I'm going to try to show you something. Well, this is actually. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy this one.
Good. Glad to hear it. To be honest, I would not have expected you to find that at somewhere other than an LCBO, unless you're in Toronto. I think I don't remember if it's Common Good or Brunswick Beer Works that usually makes their stuff.
Uh-huh.
I think it's a
No,
Brunswick Beer Works.
Yeah, literally everything I sent you. Blackburn, Counterparts, and St. Catharines Farmer Market. So I'm looking at the can here. A couple little things. Way down here. Yeah, I gotta find it. I know you won't be able to see it. But let's take a little spacecraft. Right there.
Oh,
Looks like a spacecraft. Yeah.
yeah.
And then the first thing I noticed, so above here, there's some writing. It's actually upside down. So.
And what's it say?
Space is the place. I have no idea why. Obviously, space theme, but you know. Yeah, so I think this is December 1st.
I love how you watch all the Leaf games, yet you're wearing a Flames hat, and
Yep. Well, the late game tonight is Flames and Oilers.
yeah, the Oilers are having a lot of injury problems right now.
Well, it's best they rest the guys now. Make sure they're not. I'm sure if they were tight for a playoff spot, they might be playing. But
Think Ottawa's going to trade Brady?
I doubt it.
You don't think he's going to want to be in the U.S.?
No.
Play with his brother in Florida?
I doubt it.
So the guy that at my work who is a Blue Bombers fan, and he's like the only Blue Bombers fan in the entire company, other than people at head office. Well, I should say in the entire store. His hockey team is the Bruins, so I like to make fun of him every time Ottawa beats the Bruins.
Oh, I don't know. How old is he roughly? Is he our age? Is he younger? Older?
He's older than us, probably a decade and a half.
Oh, okay, so he's from the original 6 era.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, he's like mid to late 50s.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I never really showed, but this is what it looks like in the glass.
In the Michelob glass?
Yeah.
The Michelob?
Yeah.
For a while, that beer was banned to be restocked here in Saskatchewan.
How come?
Because it was an American brand. So Scott Moe banned all the American brands, and then he unbanned the ones that are actually brewed in Canada.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're...
So like he had even banned Bud and Bud Light and...
Yeah. And then you realize, we're going to ban what's bottled in the States.
Yep. We'll ban the stuff from the States and not the stuff from Canada.
I don't necessarily agree with it, but...
And I mean, Anheuser-Busch has ways around it because, okay, ban all of our stuff that's brewed in the States. We have 15 breweries in Canada. We can just brew it there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, in the end, that type of thought process actually helps Canadians because to brew all the beers that Anheuser-Busch makes that are sold in Canada, all in Canada, they would have to hire more people.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to know how much product, that all the provinces are holding on the liquor side that they've already paid for in storage.
Well, Ontario was able to just ship it back.
Did they actually ship it back, or do you think they just held it?
I don't know. The LCBO, their deals with a lot of external companies is completely on consignment. So if they don't sell it, they don't pay for it.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff they pulled off the shelves, though, right? Like, I figured that stuff probably just put in the back or something. I don't know. I have no idea what they did with it. Could I find the answer? Probably. The internet's awesome. But
Well, I know that type of stuff, like, at least with, as much as I don't agree with Mr. Mo on a lot of things, the way he did it was he didn't say you couldn't sell it at all, but you couldn't reorder it. So that helps here because it's mostly all private industry here. So
yeah,
they would have paid for it to bring it in.
yeah. And I think that's the way it should have been done, just so that way places aren't sitting on it. You know, starting to notice products at my work. Oh,
There we go. Sorry, I was clicking the wrong buttons. Everything's good now. We're back to normal. You're starting to notice products from your work?
yeah. So, like, the first thing I really noticed was our wines. We had a American source cab or cab sauv or something. And then, yeah, no Kahlua right now. A few things.
Is there anything that once your work runs out of it, you don't think you would be able to replace?
Well, I'm under the impression they have an idea for replacements as it comes along.
Because I would think that a lot of your McGuinness stuff would be hard to do. Like,
Yeah, but I think we had a lot of that already in the
even when
system,
I
like in the warehouse.
there, you had a lot of it. Like,
Yeah. I think the bourbon might be the. I think bourbon might be the one.
you can get a lot of Canadian whiskeys that taste very similar to bourbon, though.
Yeah, but like we still get a lot of Americans, right? So they want bourbon. They are, they don't. Yeah, we all know it's all about location on where it's created. So
Yes, and they think that no whiskey can ever taste like bourbon unless it's from there.
mm-hmm. So yeah, who knows?
I mean, if you ended up doing something against, let's say, Ireland, right? You went against Ireland, and you're like, oh no, what are we going to do for Irish liqueur, for like Bailey's, because
Yeah.
Bailey's and its biggest competitor are both from Ireland. Well, like 40 Creek does one.
Yeah. So does Gretzky.
Yeah. Well, Gretzky's kind of being boycotted too at the moment, is he not? A lot of people have been.
Yeah.
Not saying whether or not I agree with it. I know that there's been a lot of talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Kittling Ridge does one. And if you don't want Kittling Ridge's one, Domaine Pinnacle in Quebec does one. So it's not like you can't get that, but I'm sure there are things that would be hard to get. Like if you say were to go against Mexico, where are you getting something like tequila, right? Like
yeah,
Kahlua, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You get rid of what the fuck was the vodka that became big right before I left? Was an American vodka. Tito's. You get rid of Tito's. Yeah. Tito's was all marketing, just like A&W is in Canada, right?
Yeah.
For the vodka is gluten free. For the most part, vodka is gluten free. Just like A&W's thing was no hormones. Well, in Canada, they can't give those hormones to any of their animals. So if it's made in Canada, you don't have to worry about it. But they were the ones that came out with that marketing gimmick. So they won, right? Like, I love A&W, but it's so fucking expensive. You know what I miss because they don't have one here? Harvey's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's no Harvey's in Regina.
That's right. I think it's more of an East Coast thing, isn't it? Eastern Canada.
Excuse me. I miss a Harvey's burger.
I don't go there often anymore. Like, I'm talking, I go there, it's years in between.
Yeah, like when I lived in Ontario, I didn't go often. It would be like maybe once or twice a year I would go, but I miss a Harvey's burger. Like the fact that I can't have one now.
Yeah.
And they opened up they used to have one and then it went away and then they reopened it and it was Taco Bell here.
Oh.
And the first like week Taco Bell was open, it was so busy that there was cars lined up like 2 blocks down the street to get into their drive-thru. So we waited about a month and then we went in and it took us almost an hour to get our food. It cost us $53 for me, my wife, and my daughter. And I sat down and went, this is fucking stupid. But we sat down with the food, took one bite of it, and said, holy fuck, we're never coming here again. Because Taco Bell was never good, ever. But it was this cheap thing that you would get when you were drinking and shit, right? Like, I could get 20 tacos for $10, right? Like, that's what you went there for. And you can't do that now. And it's gotten worse. Like, you get, like, a thimble worth of meat. Like, I got their spicy chicken burrito, which used to be part of their cheap menu. And there was like a sliver of chicken on it and basically nothing else. There wasn't even rice. It was just chicken and wrap and like this much chicken. And I was like, holy shit, I forgot how bad this stuff was. And our new joke is anytime we only eat out when we're out with my daughter, right? Like Tuesday nights, she has Sparks. So that's when we eat out, is when we're out with her. And everywhere we go and we buy something, we're like, still cheaper than Taco Bell.
Yeah.
That's been our new thing since then. Cheaper than Taco Bell.
Yeah. So it sounds like Taco Bell is not a place to go eat when you're sober.
No. But we have a lot of taco times in town. And I mean, that's big in Northern Ontario. I don't think I've ever seen a taco time in Toronto and South. Actually, I don't remember a taco time on Ottawa either.
How is it though? Taco time.
Still cheaper than Taco Bell.
No, but still, like, is it?
No, it's not. I wouldn't say it's worth the money at all. If it was up to me, I would not go to any of those places. I think if I was to go to like a fast food taco place type of thing, it would be like Quesada or Bar Burrito or something like that.
Okay.
Holy shit, this is good chicken.
Where do you guys get your chicken from usually?
Either the Co-op or Superstore.
Okay. So when it's at the Co-op, does that mean it's from a local farmer-ish?
A lot of times it is, yeah. The co-op's prices are a lot more than most places, but their sales are amazing. And so you wait till their meat's on sale and you.
Yeah. But that's what the co-op is, all right? It's all like it's supposed to be like the local farmers deal. Like
Yeah,
they're
and it's
all
supposed to
part of
be a
the.
more. It's supposed to be more almost not for profit because like they share dividends with everybody that has an account.
Yeah. So really, when they say to shop local, it's more like shop at the co-op for you guys, right?
Yep.
So is the co-op strictly only
Did you
Canadian farmers? Sorry?
Shane
Oh.
the Cowboy says, "Hey guys."
What's up? How long has you been there for?
Comment just came up while I was
Okay.
chewing on a ravioli.
All right.
Okay, so what were you asking about the co-op?
So, because like obviously we don't have them here,
No.
so and it's all farmers across wherever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and everything in there is Canadian then.
For the most part, I mean, you
Okay.
get chips and stuff that aren't, and
Okay. So
canned
it'd be
goods
like
and
what?
stuff, but
Okay.
you'll find a lot more of the specialty pops and stuff there, and
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to make it a point to go into a co-op sometime when I'm out and about.
yeah. Now every different region will have its own co-ops, right? Like you have the Arctic co-op, you have the FCNQ in Nunavik. Ours is Sherwood Co-op. I don't know if you watched the video I sent you about the refinery blowing up, but it was a co-op refinery.
Yeah, I did. How far away is that from where you are? Like
Well,
other side of town?
mm,
Because you're kind of in the middle, right? Or southeast?
give me a second here.
Yeah, I just like to ask you questions when you're eating.
What are you doing down here, dog?
Sniffing your feet.
It is 5 kilometers away. I'll send you a.
Okay.
It looks a lot
And what?
further away because Regina is kind of spread out,
Yeah.
but it's actually only 5 kilometers away.
No, that's cool.
There you go.
See if I can look at this without. If I
Oh,
disappear, we know why.
I didn't really give you. There we go. This time you can
Right.
see my house because that one was aimed at my that one was aimed at my work.
Okay. Let's see.
So the cross street for me is oh, Jeffrey's here. It's 6:41 and I'm finally here. Just got to my computer and saw your email. I'm drinking chilled red wine and listening to the Leafs do Leaf things. 6:41. Or does that say 8:41? Yeah, 8:41. Yeah, I was gonna say you're not in Saskatchewan. What the fuck?
Yeah, the Leafs are losing 1-0 for anyone
But
who.
who?
LA Kings. They're playing in LA. Is Mr. Jeffrey going to join us in
Oh.
like this?
I don't know. I've got one more piece of chicken to shove down my throat, and I'm done eating. I think she was down here because she knew I had food.
Ah.
And she feels so pretty today because Daddy brushed her.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are you grabbing another beer?
I'm looking for the one you wanted me to use tonight.
Oh. Well, it's up to you.
Put that one away. Put that there. Put that there. Put that there.
Yeah, that was a furnace filter box that I
It
sent
says
to
it's
you.
for tomatoes.
Sorry?
It says it's for tomatoes.
No, the big box.
Gotcha. He'll join in a few minutes, he says.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome.
Oh. Okay. Now that I have all the beer off of that box, I can put that there. I can review this one on my camera, then we'll do that one together. And then I have one more beer for the night, and I'm done for the night.
Oh, all right.
Well, I'm not done talking per se, but done drinking.
Yeah. So, what are you drinking the same one right now, or what are you doing right now?
You still have a Michelob to go through, don't you?
No, I finished my Michelob, and then I went into that Kodiak, and that's done.
Oh, okay. Well, it's up to you, sir.
Oh, it's up to you.
I got 2 beers from that same brewery in front of me.
So, it's up to you. I just want to know what you're doing here.
Okay, we can do that. We can do the... Ooh, it's 6.6. Wow.
Oh, yeah, they're little powerful little things. They're little powerful bombs.
Okay, we'll do that.
Hey, did you notice the little along here, the nice little slogan there? You know the drill. Keep it cold, drink it fresh.
Yes, I did. But you notice that there's no canning date on it, so you don't know if you're drinking it fresh?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying them though. Like that's what I've been noticing from your reviews.
I've had 2 of the 3 night lights so far, and I really like both of them. The Kolsch was pretty good. The Bridge Troll was surprisingly good. I didn't know how I was going to take that one.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what latte stout Jeffrey has. Yeah, this one I'm slightly worried about.
Because of the percentage?
No, just the fact that it's an IPA.
Where's Belgian? Let's give them hope. Now, what could possibly make it lightly spicy? And I'm basing it off of the description for anyone who's watching on the beer can. Lightly spicy and funky, fruity aroma.
That would probably be a mixture of the yeast and the hops they use.
Okay.
I'm also curious if they use Demerara sugar in it, but I mean, you don't necessarily need to use Demerara sugar in a Belgian IPA. Just Demerara sugar gets used in a lot of Belgian beers. I did say in one of my videos when I was looking at their line art there, you give me some beer and I'll get that tattooed.
Yeah, I saw that. I should stop stumbling on my words. I should tag them. I should send them a direct message. I should just be like, hey, look at this. Look what this guy said. How many beers would
that here for Rebellion? Rebellion would give you a free case of beer for a tattoo. So they would get the Rebellion logo tattooed on them.
Right. So how many beers would it take you? Like, what would it be from them?
I don't know. Do I get to pick them?
Or it all depend on when you're done them all.
Yeah. I was really perplexed at some of the beers you sent at their ABVs. I'm like, holy shit. I haven't seen an 11% ABV beer in a long time.
Yeah.
And there was like 3 of them. And I'm like, I have not seen these percentages in forever.
Have you drank any of those ones yet?
No, the big bat guys, I still have all of them. I have a collection of the big guys. I'm done all the zombies. All 3 zombies are gone. I have 1 blender left because I try to do those ones first because they have the most propensity to blow up.
Yeah. Did you figure out which one was the one that popped or was popping?
I'm pretty sure it was the last one I did, which was the regular zombie, the blueberry, strawberry, blackberry, banana, vanilla. Because it was the one that I could squeeze the most. So I think it had some stuff force its way through.
Well, then, yeah, that obviously be that one then. At least you didn't lose it.
Yep. The only one I came close to losing was the lollipop bomb. Because it's the one that took me like 10 minutes to get it in my glass.
Mm-hmm.
And Jules really appreciates those beers because he gets to make fun of them a lot. This isn't real beer. Fruit punch isn't beer.
Are we doing this?
Oh, yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab the water, rinse my palate off because there's a lot of garlic on my palate currently. And that's not going to react to this stuff nicely.
Fine. Make me drink some water, too.
Well, you don't have to drink water, but I do have a bottle down here. It wasn't within reach.
I have some. Look, see, you got water.
Mine's carbonated water.
Brita filtered from about 3 weeks ago.
Every year, we get a year's supply of the super duper Brita filters from the city.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because our house still has lead water pipes.
Ah.
So they were on the list to get changed. Inside the house, it's already changed. It's stainless steel inside the house. Yeah. But exterior is not. And that's why they they bring those to you, and we're on the list to have the exterior changed. It just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
I can push to the front of the list by showing them that I have stainless steel inside. My worry is that they didn't do the whole house stainless steel. They just did that little section, and then if I get pushed to the front of the list, then I have to do the whole house myself anyway. And where that pipe runs would be basically right under where we're sitting. So I don't want to rip up the entire basement. Because our sewage line goes out to the front of the street, but our water line comes in from the back. But our water main is at the front.
What the?
Yeah, it's a weird setup. There's a lot of complaints too about the water meters because they put in the new smart meters here, the Neptune smart meters that Toronto had as well. That they pulled out of a lot of Toronto. You guys have them too?
Yeah.
I didn't have one when I still lived there, so.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of complaints, all these people saying, I'm getting like $1,000 bills and this and that. I'm like, I've been paying the least amount of money for my water that I've ever paid. Like, And then I was doing the math and I'm like, how are you guys getting bills for the amount you're getting? Because even if you had your taps running all day, you shouldn't use the amount of metric water that it would take to get those bills.
Yeah.
And then we had people going, here's what you have to do. You need to wait till you know that like nobody else in the house is going to use water, and like go to a hotel for a night or make sure nobody uses anything. Turn your water off in your house if you have to. Do whatever you need to do, but take a picture of your water meter before you go to bed. Take a picture of your water meter when you wake up. If there's a big jump, you know there's a problem. Why should I have to do that? Well, you have to do that if you want to prove to the city that you have a problem. Well, they should just come and do it themselves. Well, they're not going to. You either take the fucking initiative to do the work or you pay the bill. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, you guys prove why this place is called the Gap Province.
Hey.
Okay.
Getting some good head with this beer.
Oh, you already started pouring?
Yep.
Okay, let me get mine going here.
Well, yeah, you do your thing.
Oh no, you're. I'll tell them what you say too. It's all good.
No, it's all good.
But good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. You guys are here. You're not over here, but Brian's going to be looking at the same beer as me. There's Brian there.
Hello.
And Brian actually sent this beer. This is from Turncoat Brewing Company in St. Catharines, Ontario. So, Turncoat Brewing. To anyone watching, Turncoat Brewing. This is Dear Abby, which is a Belgian IPA. And it says that it is lightly spicy, funky, fruity, 6.6% alcohol by volume, contains barley, wheat, and oats. Produced by Turncoat Brewing Company, St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, turncoatbrewing.com. And over here it does say, you know the drill. Keep it cold, drink it fresh. And we were talking about that before we started this. And the one thing I'd say is, how do I know if I'm drinking it fresh when there's no canning date? I'm still bothered by that. Now, you said you were getting some good head from it?
Yeah. In my opinion. It just seemed to hold pretty good.
That is some nice head.
Yeah.
Everybody likes head.
And then, like, as you can see, like, it still holds. It shrunk down a bit, but it still holds.
Oh, man, listen to that. Mine is shrinking a lot faster.
Yeah.
But the sound on there is nice. A little bit of haze to it. Nice golden color. It's a pretty beer. Really is. Scent. What do you get on there, Brian? I'm out of the glass.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
getting
not
like
too. I
I'm
don't
getting
know what I'm
citrus.
getting.
I'd say orange. Orange, passion fruit, and maybe there's something wrong with me today because I'm also smelling something minty. I've been smelling a lot of mint today.
You may be right.
Out of the can, I'm getting a lot more of like a dank scent, like earthy, citrusy,
Yeah.
and a little funky, like that barnyard funk you would get, which obviously would be whatever yeast they're using.
Yeah, wait till the barnyard funk's in your mouth.
Oh, you tried some, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It explains why they use the word funky in the description.
I'm Good day, Jeffrey.
Hey, fellas.
Hey, how's it going?
Perfect. I do apologize for the listening audience the last time that I showed up. I had myself on stereo audio, so I was only coming out people's right ear.
Oh, that's okay. I only wear one earbud, so to me.
There you go. So you probably didn't hear me at all.
Yeah, he was wearing his left.
Or left ear. So I don't remember which one. Oh well.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think of that, Brian. I'm not sold on that one.
No, neither am I. I didn't want to say it. Yeah.
So I don't hate it. It's an IPA that isn't extremely hoppy, but I don't like it. Like, no. I don't think I'd want to drink it again.
No, I'm almost debating if I really want to finish this or not.
Well, that's the problem, right? It's 6.6% alcohol. Do I want to drink that much of it? You know what? I will.
I mean, it's there.
Yeah, but it's interesting. They should add the word interesting to their label.
By the way, Chad, it's the Lost Craft Espresso Martini Stout, not Latte Stout. My bad.
Ooh, that sounds very intriguing.
And
it sounds a lot better than this Dear Abby.
Yeah.
Oh, they called it Dear Abby. That's awesome. Terrible name for a great beer, or for a terrible beer.
It's earthy. It's funky. It's citrusy. It's not bad, but it's not good.
When I hear earthy, for some reason, I think of Bob Cajun.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost 7% alcohol, and you wouldn't know it.
No.
Oh, there's my lady being very ladylike.
Does she fart?
And she's burping.
Oh.
Better in than out, I always say. Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you for sending it, Brian. But yeah, that one was not.
Yeah.
But I mean, every brewery has it, right? Every brewery's not always going to be a hit.
No.
That wasn't a hit for me. Yeah, but so did you get to see where the refinery was in comparison to my house?
Yeah.
So the way they do their streets is like we're on 13th.
Yeah.
Well, we're close to 13th. And then it goes up to 1. And then that is 9 north. So they start the numbers again. And so it's not that far from me, but it's
No.
like, again, 5 kilometers. Alicia could hear the alarms. She thought it was my phone going off.
Oh wow!
She
So the
punched
wind
me
was
when she realized
the
I
wind was
killed.
going your direction, then, eh?
Well, the whole city could hear the alarms.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glencairn shook, which is right over by where my work is.
Yeah.
Like, they were still getting the vibrations from that explosion.
Is there any other refineries in the city limits?
No, that's the only one. I heard that crime went rampant in the hood that night. Well, that morning, I should say.
Oh, because all the police were busy?
Yeah, all the police were at the refinery. All the fire, everybody was at the refinery.
Get your heist now.
So what we're talking about there, Jeffrey, is earlier this week there was an explosion at the oil refinery here in town.
Oh, Jesus.
And it was luckily only 2 people were injured, and apparently it wasn't seriously, but it was it went off, and I got to work, and I'm like, I slept through my alarm, so luckily that explosion happened. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, my wife could hear the alarms, and she thought it was me, so she slapped me awake. I was ready in minutes because my ride, she slapped me. Usually I was getting up at like 4:40 to get ready for work, and my ride would get here at like 5:10, and she slapped me at like 5:06, and I was dressed and out the door at 5:11.
Been there, done that.
I get out there, and Rochelle's like, what took you so long? I'm like, I got up 5 minutes ago. She goes, what? Yeah, you need to get me to work so I can take a dump. I haven't even taken my morning dump yet.
And take a morning anything yet.
Yeah. And I was curious. I thought trains were going by and stuff. Like, I walked outside and I could just hear air horns going, and I thought maybe the railway tracks were busy. I didn't know that there was an explosion yet. And then people are all freaking out because there's video of it, like on one of our news sites, and the fire department's outside the gates, and they're like, they're not letting us in yet. They're telling us they're going to handle it. And again, any refinery will have its own fire department, and its own fire department that's trained for oil fires. Your average fire department, not necessarily, right? They're trained for putting out house fires and stuff like that. So they don't want them on until they need them, so that there's not enough more people there, and so that there's no chance of injury. So they're dealing with it, and everybody's like, "Oh, the insurance company should go off." And I go, "You guys have no idea how anything works, do you?" No idea at all.
Yeah.
And
What's
after an
that
hour,
about
they
insurance
let
companies? What are they saying?
though that the insurance company should hold it against the refinery, that the refinery kept the fire department out for an hour.
That sounds like union shenanigans.
No, it's more that keeps the insurance cheaper because we're only letting the trained guys deal with it at first.
Yeah, after an hour, they let the Regina Fire Department in, and then Regina helped them put the rest of it out. But they were dealing with everything, and it was apparently an entirely fuel fire. No structure was damaged.
Also, they got burn off.
Yeah. Well, I even
That's
said
good.
before I went to bed the night before, I'm like, I can see flames in the sky from the refinery. I shouldn't see that at my house. And oh no, everything.
Do they have night shift workers or no? They just didn't see
Yeah,
it.
they
or
have
account
night shift
for it?
workers. I think they were probably doing the same thing that most power plants and everything else did, and they were trying to control it, and it got out of hand, and
Yeah.
it went off right before shift change.
Oh, that's all.
Like, and I giggle about it now and make jokes now, but that's mostly because nobody died, nobody was seriously injured. Like, good, great.
So how does that work? Do people that are normally going for a shift change, do people that are already on, do they tend to it, or do you have those that are coming? Because the last thing you want is no one like to be in transition while flames are burning.
Well, I'm going to assume that the guys that were going to change shift were fighting it, and then the guys that were coming in had to join them. Like it was an interesting video to watch, and it was an interesting day. It really was. And everybody's like, oh, you know, they weren't trying to protect it enough. And I go, you guys realize that there's like pipelines from across the country that go to that refinery, right? Like all under the city. If a big explosion happens, you're all dead. It doesn't matter how far away from you it is. It was
well, it slows down. Everything slows down to those furthest away from it.
Yeah, like I'm 5 kilometers away, and you could still hear the alarms and everything.
I mean, to sort of put that into perspective, I'm about 1.5 kilometers away from the train station close to me, and like from the GO train, and you can hear the public address tones of the speaker kicking in. You can't hear what they're saying, but you can hear what they're kicking in, and you can hear the train horns. So if you're 5 kilometers, if you're 5K away and you can still hear the fire alarms, that's something.
Yeah. So much so that we could hear them inside the house. Like I said, she thought my phone was ringing, like my alarm was going off.
That'd be funny. But let me set my alarm to a fire alarm, so I think I'm on fire when I'm being woken up. I had that happen one time. I got woken up. Well, I'm sure we all have, but by a carbon monoxide alarm that there wasn't
Holy
anything.
shit.
There wasn't anything going on, but the battery had gone past its due date, and the alarm was just prone off. Like the detector was just prone off to going off at random until you replace the battery. But it didn't help that it was warm inside that bedroom, and so I woke up from a peaceful dream, and I was like, "Oh shit, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Yeah, when we first moved in, we didn't check the batteries and anything, and they have a fire and carbon monoxide monitor right beside the furnace.
Austin Matthews scored.
Matthews
1-1.
Oh damn! Their period's already started. Okay, I turned it off when
It just started.
Yeah,
55 seconds in.
1-1 tie. There you go.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sorry, Chad.
Damn Leafs.
What's your team, Chad? I guess it would be despite the fact that you have the Regina Pats now, but what was your boyhood team?
The Senators.
Figure, because you're the Ottawa.
Now,
Valley,
before Ottawa had a team, I was a Pittsburgh Penguins fan.
Good choice. That early 90s when they won the cup.
You know, I was actually in Pittsburgh last year when I used to, with my ex living in Rochester. One of her favorite bands was performing in Pittsburgh, just outside the Mario Lemieux Center. So.
Oh yeah, which band?
Citizen Soldier.
Okay. And that's where the Penguins have their practice facility, right?
Yeah, I forget the exact town name. I forget like the venue name itself. I could go find it, but yeah, it was across the Mario Lemieux Center.
Ottawa's winning their game right now, 3-1.
Is it like Cranberry, Pennsylvania?
I think so.
I like how Brian's trying to change the subject from Ottawa winning their game right now.
Well, they're firmly in the playoff hunt, so there isn't anything you can do.
Have you finished your beer yet, Chad?
Yeah, I chugged it. You were watching.
This one's a slow sipper.
I had another one that I was going to review. I don't know if I'll review it or just grab something from the fridge.
Yeah.
Because now that I've got that, I don't know if I want another turncoat beer. Right.
Yeah. I'm going back to my Michelob.
I'm sure you've had it before, Chad, but have you ever, and I'm going to butcher the pronunciation for being Italian, have you ever had, what's it called? Birra Moretti? I think it's.
Yes, I've had it. Yeah. When I had it, I didn't like it. At this point in my life, now that I'm looking for more mellow stuff, I probably would enjoy it at this point.
It's very smooth. I
Hey,
just
do you
had
have
it
one
a
of
few.
these, Chad?
The hell is that?
Orange cream Coke Zero.
No, I used to order that in the Arctic all the time, and it never would show up.
That's a thing? That sounds good.
Yep.
I kind of don't want it though because I hate creamsicles. Like, hate them.
Oh, I love creamsicles.
I hate them to a point that my eldest daughter, when I started dating my wife, she would come in and go, "You're an idiot." And I go, "Why?" Because you hate creamsicles. What kind of moron hates creamsicles?
Damn.
This kind of moron.
That just means more for her. I never understood why people.
There's a coach's challenge on the goal.
They're probably going to win it. Oh.
Oh. Call high sticking on the using a stick above his shoulders, it looks like.
There's the blender you sent me.
What?
The blender.
Oh.
Actually, I should check if I've had that one. Maybe I can drink that.
The blender?
Yes.
Or what's inside the blender? Did you mix yourself something?
Well, it's a counterpart sour beer, and it's called blender because they basically throw a whole
Oh, okay. I'm so slow. I thought he actually sent you like a blender. I thought
that's something he would do, but no. I may have had this one. May have. Let's see. Actually, that might be the one right there. Let's see.
No, the goal was legit.
No.
And they're in LA, which is even better. It's got to be fun. I'm sure everyone's had this before, especially in Ottawa too. Like where you have a game that's hockey night in Canada, so it's 7 p.m. Eastern, but they're on the West Coast, so they're playing a game at 4 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, like this Leafs game right now.
Exactly. But hey, if you're in California, for example, regardless of which team, it's probably doing you a favor because you show up in the afternoon or in the early, like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
or I guess more like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you get it done, and then you're not. It's 8 a.m. It's 8 p.m. on a Saturday evening.
Yeah, they could go out in theory, but I'm sure they're flying somewhere right after the game.
Well, I was thinking like if you were going to the game, like as
a fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my daughter snuck down. Hey, did you this is on my wall. This is one of my new decorations. PV rewards.
Oh. They're up to 60% off now around here.
I'm pretty sure they're closing in the next few days here.
Which?
PV Mart.
I'll pretend I know what that is. Okay.
It's a Canadian retailer for farm equipment and stuff. They were like farm feed and farm equipment and all that type of stuff, but they have.
It used to be TSC.
Well, they were PV before TSC. Like they bought TSC.
That's what I meant.
For Ontario, they bought TSC, but for Western Canada, they've always been PV Mart. And the purchasing of TSC is what cost them their company, really, in the end.
It's a kind of apples to oranges comparison, but that's kind of like how Lowe's came over here. I don't know if they came nationally, but they definitely came to Ontario, and they became Lowe's bought, I think it's Lowe's bought Rona, but then when Lowe's went under, they restructured themselves to Rona. So even though it was, it's a strange parallel of let's buy out another company, but then rebrand ourselves to the company we bought. Therefore, we're no longer.
I think
connected.
Rona bought out Lowe's
Is that how it worked? I thought it was the other way around.
Why are you rubbing your balls?
Not rubbing my balls.
because Rona already had the distribution network across Canada.
Really?
Okay,
What's
that
in
makes
between
more
your legs and up your shorts?
My dick.
And your balls?
Oh, dick and balls.
I don't have any balls. You own them, remember?
Dick and ball. Dick and ball.
Do you want to take that cat that's taking a shit down here currently upstairs with you? Like, I don't know why she has to shit down here in our room.
I have to add more litter.
Does she at least have a box, or she just doesn't?
Oh yeah, no, she has a box down here. She has 2 litter boxes, one upstairs and one down here. But she started getting locked in the basement because she wants to follow us at night. So we put a box down here, but she pisses upstairs and shits down here.
I thought you were talking about your wife.
No,
No, my wife always
he said
shits
the
down
cat.
At first, I'm like, okay, so she uses the bathroom down here. Then I realized there's a cat. I'm like, oh,
No, I only shit down here myself as well because the upstairs toilet is on an angle, and
We don't know why.
we don't fully know why, because if you look at it from underneath, it should be fine, and I don't want to pull it off in case it's not fine. So we just let the kids use the upstairs bathroom, and we come downstairs.
fair enough.
Like it's on a kilter that it shouldn't be on, and I'm like, if I take that off, then before we can use it again, I actually have to fix whatever's wrong. And if it's something big, then it's going to take a while. But if like I can get to underneath it from down here and it doesn't look like it should be off kilter, it shouldn't be on an angle, but it is. So I don't know what the fuck's going on, and I don't want to know. It doesn't leak. It's doing fine. It's okay.
Does the floor look rotted around it at all?
No, that's the thing. There's no rotting on the floor. There's no leakage. There's no moisture. So I'm just going to pretend it's perfectly fine, and just nobody over the weight of 120 pounds is allowed to use it.
Oh, okay.
The joys of buying a 100-year-old house, right? Like,
Oh, for sure.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not taking the toilet off because I don't want to know.
No, yeah, unless you
just like
need
this-
to, right?
This toilet down here, because this is the basement, and Regina's all on clay, so all winter your floors heave and everything. I'm like, if we ever need a new toilet, we're not ever changing this one. She's like, what do you mean? I go, I don't want to know. After you've had me pull the carpet up on this floor and see what's happened underneath the carpet of the actual bedroom, I'm not pulling the toilet up because I'm not. It's staying there forever.
Yeah.
She's like, well, what if something breaks? I go, the majority of the things that can break on that toilet, I can now replace because the float's already broke, like the pump to refill the toilet. That's broken on it.
Yeah.
I bought a 3-pack.
That's an easy fix.
Yeah, that took all of like a minute and a half. But I bought a 3-pack of them in case it goes again. I put a new one on, and I'm like, look, our toilet's fixed.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't like it because it's an older toilet. It's probably from like I'd say it's probably the 80s or 90s. She's like, I want a new toilet down here. I go, yeah, you're not the one that has to do the work to change it. I'm not getting a new toilet.
What kind of makes me chuckle is we have the original toilet from the upstairs, like the upstairs bathroom, like the standalone bathroom is the only place that has been sort of untouched in this house. And this house was probably built in I think it was 1986. And because everything else has been made over, like downstairs bathroom, master bedroom, bathroom. But both of those toilets are more modern toilets. And the thing that makes me laugh is that the handle on both of those toilets, if you don't check them, is prone to staying down. So even though they're more fuel efficient, if the handle stays down, it can just run all day.
Yeah.
It's only until you hear this flow of water or you notice that the water pressure is different and you go, okay, let's go I mean, it's the easiest fix ever, but it just kind of makes me laugh that here's this fuel efficient toilet. Oh, the handle is prone to staying down.
You can get I think there's a flap that will stop that after a while.
Oh, okay.
I just know like the doors upstairs, the bedroom doors and the bathroom door on the main floor are the original doors to the house. They are 100 years old, and they have the
Nice.
old square door handle that like is almost cut into the door, and it has like the skeleton keyhole and everything else. And
cool.
so my son came up to me today and he goes, "My door handle fell off." And I looked at him. I go, "I can't fix that." "What do you mean you can't fix it?" I go, "That is 100-year-old door handle. I have no fucking clue how to do anything to it. And if I tried to take it off your door, there'd be a giant rectangular hole, and I can't put a new door handle onto that. So how about we take care of the 100-year-old door handle, motherfucker?"
What was it? A case of just being rough on it, or just?
Yeah, he slams it all the time.
Now, is it on the inside or the outside of the door?
It's the outside one that fell off.
So just don't close it when you go out of the when you go out of your room, and you'll be fine.
Easier said than done.
And the house isn't completely level because we're in Regina, so it would close on its own at some point. The people that owned it before us even had like wire wrapped around it to try and hold it in because they broke it too. But
So what's his current? What's the domestic solution right now? the one size fits no one solution.
Get locked in your room. I don't care. You're stuck there. Here's a bucket. Like I don't know. I don't have it to buy a new door right now either because again it's a 100-year-old door frame, so I'd have to change the whole frame. Like there's nothing that's cut to that dimension anymore.
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen anything like that, and I haven't. And the funny thing is, the whole downstairs of this house got redone, but this is only 40 years old, not 100-year-old. So the top the second floor of the house is all. It's actually kind of funny because the second floor, aside from paint jobs and the carpet being pulled out, is all like has been redone. But the doors, like I said, the bathroom itself is all like original equipment. It's all OEM.
Yeah.
But then the main floor has been touched up. Everything, like the kitchen, like all of our main floor was done. The downstairs is still unfinished. The door has been changed, but the downstairs itself is still the unfinished cement, and it's basically storage area. But like I said, you know, this is 40-year-old. Actually, almost this because 86. It's 2025. Not 100-year-old. So I'm trying to sort of picture what Chad's talking about, and I don't think I've ever seen anything quite that squared off. In my mind.
Yeah, in all my time looking in Ontario for houses, I've never seen a house with these type of doors, like ever. And you got to remember too, like 100 years ago in Ontario is much different than 100 years ago in Saskatchewan, which has less of a population in the entire province than Toronto has in Toronto. Like
and just they're different lifestyles. No.
Yeah.
Like not to downplay Regina, but like Toronto is pushing ahead of its weight class, you know. In order for that not to be the case, you'd have to invest money in our infrastructure. No one's going to do that.
No, you don't get infrastructure money here either. Don't worry. They have one bridge that anytime it rains, like it's I say bridge, but it's an underpass. Anytime it rains, it floods under the underpass and cars get stuck in it.
Oh boy.
That's same with downtown Toronto too, though.
I just got a notice in the mail that my mill rate is going up by 5% on my utilities, and my property tax is going up by 8%. Again, and I don't know if you've caught the vlogs, they don't fucking plow shit here. They don't I don't know where my money goes. I don't know. Well, actually, I do. I know exactly where my money goes. It goes to the Real District, which is where the Rough Riders play and the Pats play, because we give them like $15 million a year to run 7 arenas and a football, soccer stadium and everything else. And like, really, you have fairgrounds, stadiums, arenas, fucking courts, and all. You can't make money with all the shit you have. You have no idea how to make. Who the fuck hired you to be the board there?
Come on, Chad, run for council.
So, in Welland, they pay $28,000 a year for their city councilors. Here, you get 60 grand to be the councilor.
I haven't looked at the story, but I just saw something about Toronto City councillors vote to give themselves a pay raise, and that the mayor opposed it, but they still passed through.
Yeah, and they were at last year. I think they were at like $110,000 a councilor in Toronto.
It's a full-time job in Toronto, though.
It is, but is it worth 110 G's?
Yeah, cost of living out there.
It's one of those things, especially to Chad's point, where on the surface it seems badass that they're willing to put their money behind the stadium, but the fact that, like you said, if you can't make a profit from it, which most private facilities would do, especially if you have something that was started by public funding but ultimately had the backbones of private money behind it, and B, if the rest of your sort of municipal service, your civil service, takes a back seat to that. Like, are you still getting snowfall?
Yes, we still are.
Yeah, see, here it's 2 degrees and raining. I mean, the thing is, there's always that March break tease where it's 15 degrees and stunning outside, and everyone thinks it's going to be an early summer. But don't let that fool you, because it's almost like the whole thing of, never wear white after Labor Day, or, don't, straw hats before Labor Day. It's almost like, don't put away your snow tires and your shovels before May 2-4 weekend. Just don't.
Now, here there was, when they were talking about all the mill rates going up and all that, and they were doing the budget, there was 2 councillors that were like, we will take a 10%, and 10% isn't huge, but it was still 10%. They're like, we suggest we do a 10% wage decrease to try and save some money for the constituents as well. And I mean, if you did a 10% on everybody, because our Real District, they pay the entire executive branch of Real is paid for with public funds. They are all paid for by taxpayers. So yeah, if everybody was to take a discount on their wage, if everybody was to take a back seat, you would save millions of dollars right there. Because like our city manager gets paid $260,000 a year. Sup, little ones? Who's little, Jules? Who's little?
Who's that in the chat? Or
that's Jules. What? Rhino, shout at me.
Or the next shot on me?
Shoot on me?
Shout on me?
Shout on me? Oh, next shout on. I got it. Sorry.
Stout? Maybe it's next stout.
Yeah, maybe next stout.
I don't know if I have any video whatsoever, and this glass is half full. Probably can't see the inside of this glass.
No. Do you need a light bulb over there?
I'm blind. I'm in the dark. Okay, there we go.
Okay, it means next. It means next beer on me. Well, thank you very much, Jules. And yeah,
Is that any
we will-
better?
No, it's 100% better. I was only joking around with you.
No, it's funny because I have less vision than Chad does.
You need a light bulb.
I probably do. I probably do.
This one's for you, Jules, because you really like when I have not beer. This is Cinnamon Toast Crunch beer.
Oh, what's wrong with Cinnamon Toast Crunch beer? Mm.
Is that the one that Steve Wallace drank?
I don't know. It might be. I didn't watch that video of him in Regina.
Oh,
I gotta get somebody to send me the link because even he's talked to me about it.
I'm showing my ignorance. Who the hell is Steve Wallace? When I think of Steve Wallace, I think of a NASCAR driver. I don't think that's who you're thinking of.
oh, that's Rusty Wallace.
Well, there
Steve
was a Stephen Wallace, but he was a blip on the map. Anyway,
Camping with Steve. He's a YouTuber.
oh,
He does stealth camping.
He basically pretends he's homeless for a video. That's really what he's doing. He camps all over the place.
so less than a bug out kit, you know.
Like he's camped in a roundabout, camped behind a billboard. I still think one of his best camping ones is when he made a billboard with a picture of him on it saying, was it something like camping is closer than you realize or something like that? And he put it up on the side of the highway. He's behind that sign camping that night.
You know, that hurts my feelings, Jules. That hurts my feelings. He says he hates me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of exactly.
You hate me because I'm having a Cinnamon Toast Crunch experience. It even says it, Cinnamon Toast Crunch experience. It really is like eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch out of a glass of lager.
Out of a glass of
Have you
water.
had this one before?
Yes, I have, and I don't mind
Yeah.
it.
I don't have. I mean, the one that I've got's not totally out of line. It's definitely in line in like the sugary department or like the flavor department. Not quite the same thing.
Didn't know it was ladies' night. Okay, Joel.
I didn't either.
You didn't comment on any of my beer-flavored beer reviews I've done lately.
Oh, Tavares just scored.
Oh,
Damn it. I was hoping they'd lose tonight.
well, they could. Just because they're
Yeah.
winning now doesn't mean they're not going to win. You never know when the coach might pull the goalie with the team in the lead. You never know.
Oh no, it's almost tied up with Ottawa.
See that? You're running your mouth there.
Who just scored for them? Marchenko.
Yeah, Ottawa was one of those teams where it's almost like people's sort of eyes on them have been the same for several years. Like, yeah, that's cute, and then they made it this year, and they're like, oh shit.
And they didn't do much changing on the team. Like the team is
No, I mean
fairly-
they got Buffalo to give them their best player, which every other team has done. So that's cool.
They got Buffalo to give them their best player in Cousins. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But aside from that, as far as like compared to what other teams have done, like
They also got Boston to give them the better goalie.
that's true, Linus Ullmark. Although Anton Forsberg, for being their sixth string goalie, is doing quite well when he's into.
You hope for Leafs sends this?
In order for that to happen, at the very least, Sens would have to pass the Lightning.
Would you do a cinnamon crunch beer gauntlet? Are you asking if I would chug 4 of these? Find me somewhere to get 4 of them because the multinational doesn't have any more. I'll do it. I might be in my 40s now and shouldn't do it, but I'll still do it.
Can you imagine do you remember, I don't think they're brewing it right now, but do you remember that Sawdust City Butter Tart Ale?
Yes.
Can you imagine doing a gauntlet of that stuff?
Oh, no. No.
No. That'd be the richest shit ever.
Leafs just scored. The butter tart beer, I remember the first year he made it. It was the first year I had it because Sam would send it to me. He's like, try this. And I drank it. And I'm like, why the fuck did you hop a like a butter tart beer, you motherfucker? Like, why is there hops in this? It's a butter tart beer. It should taste like butter tarts. It shouldn't taste like butter tarts and hops. There's no time I should go butter tarts and hops.
Do you remember the year that he sent it to you? Because I tried it in like 2019, and it was very different. It was not hoppy. It was more like, it was almost like you have the taste of the butter tart up front, and then you've got just
let me see if I can
base at the end, and it was very balanced out. It was almost like having like the back end, even if it was just ale, tasted like tasted like a loaf, where it's just because it was probably because a lot of your reviews tend to go up before they've sort of hit mainstream. Like, I know I've looked up certain beers that I've just come across, and you find out they've been uploaded 8 to 10 years ago. It's like, okay, well, so much for that being new.
Okay, let's see what I got going on here. I know that you are correct. When I had it afterwards, like, he did change it. And I think it changed mostly because it was made originally for a butter tart festival. And people that are going to a butter tart festival do not want hops in their fucking beer.
Which is even funnier.
So I'm just looking now to see when I tapped it in first.
Because I know I had it. It's kind of funny that I would remember this, but I remember getting it around election time of 2019.
2016 was the first time I had it.
Oh. That's not, as far as, it's one of those things where both is and isn't a long time. Because a brewer could change a recipe in the span of a year, but at the same time. Do you still get up like newsletters and stuff from craft breweries and stuff?
Sometimes, not as often as I used to.
Okay, because Like a Base sent one out a few weeks ago that was right in line with the whole Terrify, and it was actually pretty funny. I actually wrote to them and said, nice press release.
I swear, Sugar Pants, it was your idea. I love the names that Sam would come up with for his fucking beers.
There's so many of them that I wish that they would bring back.
I loved Long Dark Voyage to Uranus. I loved Long Bloody Voyage to Uranus.
I've never had the Bloody Voyage. I've had the Dark Voyage.
The Bloody Voyage was amazing. That
was a Christmas present, actually. My ex-girlfriend actually got that for Christmas. Oh, they also had I always forget the name of that damn treat, but they had that like blueberry cookie stout. I forget what it was called now.
Yes, the hoppy one was a blue can. Malty.
What is that? blueberry cookie stout that they had. God, what is that treat called? It's a Christmas thing. And I can't remember the name of it now. But they also had the Red Rocket, which they haven't had it for a long time.
Oh, the Red Rocket was a good one.
That's a good one.
I've reviewed 47 of his beers, apparently. And I'm just looking like Bloody Long Dark Voyage to Uranus was a 5 out of 5 for me. His several different versions of 1105. Red Rocket was really good.
Golden Beach.
There's No Way of Knowing. The Princess Wears Girl Pants.
I think I remember that one.
The Blood of Cthulhu. That was an amazing beer.
Do you remember the Golden Beach Pale Ale?
Do I remember it? No, but I'm looking at it right here, and I gave it a 4.5.
It's like, I would say it was almost like Hazy Pale Ale before Hazy Pale Ale, but it's like a detour sort of thing.
Eye the Mountain nice and the Leprechaun Flute.
You know, all this being said, I haven't looked at his site yet. I should look at his site and see what he's got, like what the forefront is on his website. I was looking at like Cabays recently.
Do they have anything new?
Yeah, they do. They had, I'd have to go pull up the name, but they had a stout that was sort of non-stouty.
Oh, it wasn't stouty enough?
No. It was good, but it was not stouty as far as...
Death and Taxes?
Oh, good name. A lot of hazy IPAs. I won't lie, or just a lot of IPAs in general on their website, and a lot of lagers and wheat beers.
Viva La Stout for their Viva Puff beer.
That's what it's called. Thank you. That's the one.
And,
man, that thing was delicious.
Oh, who was the guy? He's in Toronto.
Woodhouse?
No. Kind of like Sawdust City, but with like their names and everything. And he's just like Sam, their owner, is just as passionate. Oh, fuck. He was in that documentary with me, straight up.
Okay, I had no idea.
Indie Ale House.
He
makes some really good beers too.
I'm going to have to watch that because I had absolutely no idea. It's funny you mentioned Toronto because so one of my good friends is a steel guitar player, and for 2 years in a row, in 18 and 19, he organized these steel guitar conventions at different breweries. They're kind of close. They're kind of within proximity of each other. One is Shacklin's Brewery. One is Reinhardt Brewery.
Yes, they are. I believe they're in the same building.
Yeah.
But like different parts of the building.
Yeah. But both of them have very nice beers. Oh,
and you know what, Multi? I'm just going to say this right now, Multi. Go fuck yourself for reminding me about that. He does bring up the fact that I've reviewed a lot of Trafalgar beers. Thank you. I wanted to remember all those Trafalgar beers.
I didn't. Is that a brewery? I'm so in the dark.
Trafalgar Ales and Meads, they no longer exist. It was Michael Arnold, and Michael Arnold was an amazing member of the craft brewing industry. Amazing. He would purposely brew beer. Well, he didn't purposely shall we say brew it, but he would brew beer that had a lot of faults in it and sell it anyway because he didn't give a shit. And if somebody complained, he'd basically tell them to go fucking kick rocks. And he was around for about 15 years before he won New Brewery of the Year at the Ontario Brewing Awards, which I went off on for a long time. And they were like, well, he's never come to the Brewing Awards. I go, I don't give a shit if he's never come to the Brewing Awards. He's been in the industry since the craft brewing started. And then right before he sold, he ended up getting a distilling license and started making moonshine, but he also was making beer that was a lot better. And his son would bring me the beer to try because he wanted me to like it. But we found out why their beer was so... We found out really late in the game why his beer had so many inconsistencies in it, and he was using a bottling wand. He was basically using a gun to fill every one of his bottles. So he had a big oxidization problem, which explained a lot of things when we found out, but we didn't care any at that point, right? It was fuck you.
Did you ever? Sorry,
go ahead.
I was going to say, did you ever review Steelback on your channel?
I believe I did. I'd have to go and check. I know I've had Steelback, but I think there's a video out there.
I kind of wish that, like, but when Steelback was popular was before I started liking beer. It's kind of funny. I couldn't make this up. I didn't actually start enjoying beer until I turned 19. And it had nothing to do with legality because I could have had it as often as I wanted. My brother actually took after it pretty early on. He was like 12, 13, 14, but I just didn't like it. And then I think Keith's was my first one, and that was 2013. But I remember because we used to go up to our French cottage in Halliburton every summer. And, for a few years, Steelback was the flavor of the year. Like 03 to 05 was Steelback chain and all that. I think he won the brewery in like 2009, which was years after he'd been actually out on the market.
So Jules just told us, I live in Wisconsin right now. I just cracked open a Pilsner, cinnamon and butter not included. Again, go fuck yourself, sir. Love you. Go fuck yourself. But he's in Minhas County because Minhas has breweries in Wisconsin. They have breweries in Saskatchewan and they have breweries in Alberta.
That's one way to dodge the tariffs. I mean, no, I actually have some friends in Green Bay that I am going to go see later on this year. I don't know when, but I have 2 friends that live in Green Bay that I am hoping to go see. So I will probably be taking an Amtrak route to Wisconsin.
Did Brian pass out on us?
Apparently. Either that or he muted himself and didn't realize it. But otherwise, I think he passed out. And he's a really quiet sleeper.
Wow. Interesting. I'm going to text his wife.
While you do that, I'm going to go grab something else to drink. We've got 5.5. I don't know what actually kind of beer that was. It was a gift. I'll be back in... Let's see.
If anyone's wondering what I'm doing, I'm getting Brian's wife's thing just to make sure he's okay.
He must win a face-off in the game.
Tavares asked to do that, but he loses the draw, and a shot is blocked. The rebound is spanned on. The puck still free as it comes to Kempe. Kempe dropping it back to the point. A shot knocked down by the glove of Stolarz. Tavares does a good job to get it to the line, but not enough.
Okay, I'll be right back. Internet. Packers game is worth a drive. Didn't realize you were that close. We can look into that. I'm just trying to get something going here. How are you, Brian? Everything good?
I'm just tired. A long one.
I bet you did.
My earbud die out on me.
You fully passed out, sir.
Let's find out. Hello?
Good day.
Ah. Oh. I don't hear anything.
It may have turned off because I called you.
Oh, shoot.
We can hear you. Well, at least we know he's good. Just texting.
Oh.
You back in business?
Oh, I can hear.
You were completely out cold, sir.
Oh, I believe it.
I called you just to see if you were still good because you weren't making a sound. There was silence. You were silent and like this.
Yeah. Got too comfortable. I did work this morning, so I've been up for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I've been like I said, this whole week I've been up at basically right around your first break time I've been getting up because I've been so like I've been falling asleep early.
There we are.
So I'm just texting the wife so that she knows where I am.
Wouldn't she know you're downstairs already?
I was gonna say, hasn't she been down here already?
Well, yes, but I have till a certain time to be done. So I'm giving her the time that I'm going to come up. I just need to make sure I'm going to be up there at that time or she will beat me.
What's your window?
I gave myself 30 minutes.
Oh.
I get until 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So I gave her 8:30 is when I'll be upstairs.
Nice.
And then next weekend we will be early because we'll see how long we can keep Dave up.
That's cool.
You gonna pass out on Dave too?
No.
It would actually be amazing if you both passed out.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'd know he was passed out, though. He would snore.
Yeah. I'll have to take a nap.
So for those of you in the chat room, we're going to go early next week because we're going to have my buddy Dave, the Urban Viking from over in the UK, on. So we're probably going live probably around noon my time, which would be 2 p.m. Ontario. Mostly just because he is old and on medication that makes him pass out by 9 p.m. So we gotta work within his constraints. He's not like Paul from Ottawa old, but he's old. He's James from here in Regina old. I'm actually surprised he didn't show up tonight, but he may have been running around at work. They're mad at me because I won't go in for overtime tomorrow.
Mm.
I'm like, I've done overtime every day for the last week. I'm not coming in.
Yeah.
But you're one of the
Someone
bosses.
else-
If you don't come, nobody's going to want to come. I go, yeah, I'm here for overtime every single day that I work for you. I'm not coming in. No, we just we have so much inventory that you can't move, and it needs to get out on the floor, so we have room for trucks. Our inventory counts are in July. Yay! I'm so excited. Did Ottawa win the game or did they lose? Did Toronto win or did they lose?
I took a nap. Couldn't tell you.
No, you took a nap. Like I said, I was worried. I was actually searching up your wife's info to ask her if you were okay.
Oh, she's fast asleep. No, it's been 22 hours I've been awake. So
What were you up to today? You usually take a nap during the day, don't you?
I haven't been on Saturdays. So I usually should, but
Like I get it. Like when I was on that shift, I didn't want to sleep on my first day off either because you lost your whole day.
yeah. So all of a sudden it's like, oh, I should take a nap now. It's like, oh, it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, oh, it's kind of almost too late.
Yeah, I hate that shift. I hate it. I hate our night shift just as much because our night shift gets me home at 3 a.m. And then because of all the years I did the shift you're on, my body goes, "You're not going to sleep now, motherfucker. You're up." And
Yeah.
like, damn it. Because I've said it before, like if I'm not asleep by midnight, my body thinks I'm working the midnight shift that you work. It's like, we're up.
Muscle memory.
Yep. Just keep you going, even though you can't.
Yeah. So a power nap, I'm good to go now for a bit. Yeah.
Well, if I knew you were sleeping and sleeping alone, I would have just left you alone. But I didn't know you weren't making a sound. There was no sounds.
All good.
Sounds and movement did not happen.
Yeah.
So can we actually try and decode what this beer is? I know it's called 5.5, but I'm not sure the brewery.
James, ready? Is it a green can with like a red dragon?
You're asking. I'm trying to point in front of the camera so you can see it.
Yeah, that's James ready.
Is it James ready?
Yeah.
Oh, well, how about that?
My favorite craptacular macro beer to buy is a malt liquor, and it would be Mickey's. Mickey's was always my favorite. The grenades were so easy to chug because the hole was so big, and under the cap you had the riddles. So it was great because I'd buy the 12-pack, I'd just chug them back in seconds, and we'd play the riddles. And you knew you were too drunk when you couldn't do the riddles anymore. Yes, the twist top grenades from Mickey's. But Multi wants to know if your James Ready tastes like Carlsberg.
I haven't had a Carlsberg in a long time.
Is that the rumor? They're the same, just different cans?
I don't know. Who owns James Ready nowadays?
Moosehead?
Yeah.
I just Googled it and it says Moosehead.
Because isn't that the rumor with was it Busch Lights, or is that with a dent on the can?
It says Moosehead on Beer Advocate. Brewed by Moosehead Brewers Limited.
Yeah, James Ready is owned by the Oland family, so Moosehead.
Sorry for the squeaky chair, by the way.
They bought the brewery in 1947.
Oh wow!
That far back. By the way, near Honest Ed's in Toronto is a place called, I think it's called Coyote Craft. And in there it's right near Junction Brewing. Junction Brewing, of course, owns Woodhouse or has swallowed up Woodhouse and sells their beers along with their own.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I know Woodhouse, when he... which Woodhouse brother was it? I think it was Jeremy Woodhouse. When he started, I think it was Stonehammer that he bought, the F&M Brewing Company in Guelph.
This is the one where it's like Woodhouse Lager, Stout, IPA, beer.
And they all say beer afterwards. It's Woodhouse
Stout
IPA
beer.
Stout
IPA
beer. Lager beer.
But yeah, if you want to, it used to be you couldn't get them delivered, but now they've teamed up with or been absorbed by Junction Brewing, and you can buy them and have them delivered on like every Tuesday and Thursday.
Interesting. I mean, I always liked Woodhouse beers. Junction beers I liked when they first came out, and then they slowly started changing in time. And Multi's asking if you guys have all seen the pallet of beer you can buy from Moosehead.
Yeah.
I haven't.
They basically sell you a pallet of beer. I think it's 1,400 beers. It's one beer a day for the entire Trump administration. And I laughed my ass off when I saw it, and I'm like, I would actually buy that, except it wouldn't last me 4 years. I would drink it rather quickly. But
so it's all at once?
yes, they deliver a whole pallet of Moosehead to you. It's a pallet of Moosehead cans wrapped with a Moosehead outer skin.
That's great. That is great. I was kind of hoping it would be like one of those, like, you know, those catalog things where it's like beer by mail. Well, every day it's a different beer of the Trump administration. So you just
Let me see if I can find a picture of it because he's talking about it right now. And we're talking. He thinks it's in a wooden pallet and a wooden crate, and he may be right. I am going to see if what the hell is this shit? How did this blow up this big? I didn't tell it to blow up. The presidential pack, as they call it. Okay, that has to be a way for me to screen share. 1 second. Let me learn this thing that I haven't used until we came
let me
back.
find that email. I'll just send it. It's obviously the sale itself is out of date, but the press release is pretty funny. I'll forward it to you.
Hey, did you guys notice? Did you guys read that Twitter was sold?
Yes, he sold it to himself.
Yeah, for $11 million loss.
Well, he had to sell it because it was on loan against Tesla, and with Tesla's stocks tanking,
Yeah,
it wasn't doing good for him.
yeah.
Okay, there's that. Now, how do I screen share from here? I have to be able to screen share.
Yeah. Show us your screen.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't have any inappropriate tabs showing.
It's just my asshole. I guess I could do it this way too if I have to.
Wait, so who owns them now?
AI. XAI. Isn't that the name of his son? One of
There
his
you go.
13
The
kids?
presidential pallet.
How good will those last few beers be in 4 years, though?
Amazing, sir.
Better than imported beer from the U.S.
Yeah.
The only problem with that is that a lot of our breweries are owned by either stateside or Dutch side things. So, although who is the parent owner of Moosehead? Is it still the Moosehead family, or is it somebody
Yeah,
else?
the Olins still own it.
Oh,
When they're not murdering each other.
So they sold half of it, like one half of the lineup of beers that were originally thought of as Moosehead is owned by Labatt, and the other half is Moosehead still. I think Oland itself is owned by Labatt.
Who knows? Now, were they sold before or after the crime? Wasn't one of them killed by a nephew or something?
Yes. Okay, so Alpine Lager is still owned by Moosehead, so Oland. And Oland Lager is brewed by Labatt's and owned by AB InBev. So the Oland name, Oland and Sons Brewing Company in Halifax, Nova Scotia, is part of Alexander Keith's, which is part of Labatt, which is part of Anheuser-Busch. But Moosehead and Alpine are still Moosehead.
There's something weird going on in the Flames game right now.
What's going on in the Flames game?
I don't know.
Which is
Kinda.
funny because the Flames are sponsored by Alpine.
Like apparently something happened. I'm trying to find out.
Let's see.
Like I guess the crowd's gotten. Even the commentators are really quiet right now. They're
So what you're saying
clapping.
is something really bad has happened. Somebody's been injured in some way.
I don't think it's a player though. I think it's something happened to someone in the crowd. Oh, sorry to derail your talk there.
Don't be sorry about that. I'd be curious about what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, TSN has nothing.
No.
Oh, I'll have to read that when I get offline, Jeff. I will read it when I go upstairs.
Oh,
Yeah, like I
wow.
said, it was only relevant for the days of March 5th and March 6th, but it was still a funny press release.
Looks like a good deal, except it's Moosehead. Bradshaw, you're in the US though, are you not? Because here's something that I can tell you straight up. The Moosehead that's sold in Canada and the Moosehead that's sold in the US are two vastly different products. The Moosehead that's sold in the US is brewed in Canada, but because it's not sold in Canada, they're allowed to do a little different things with it. And it is so much lower class to the
So
point
somebody
where
collapsed on the stairs in the crowd,
ooh.
and the training staff dispatched to help them.
Well, that's the one thing that's good, right? You collapse in an arena for a sporting event, there's a lot of medical help.
Only into
Yeah.
the 15 seconds into the first period. I just pulled up the radio for broadcast while I was on mute.
But yeah, so Moosehead in the States. When we we were in the States and we were doing our road trip, me, Boychuk, and the Cantankerous Cook, and we were like, we need a drinking beer for when we're in the hotels. So we saw Moosehead at one of their bottle shops for like next to nothing, and we're like, fuck, Moosehead is expensive in Canada. Let's buy this. And we bought it and we drank it, and it was garbage. And so we brought some cans back with us to do a blind taste test between the US and the Canadian one. And we did record it and we put it up online, and we did it on Justin TV when Justin TV was existing still. And yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible. And we all knew which one was the Canadian and which one was the American version of Moosehead.
See, what's interesting is, so I used to date someone who lived in Rochester, and in Rochester, and I'm sure other places in the States as well, you can buy 30 cans of Molson for like under $30. It's dirt cheap.
Yeah, well, you could get like the Flats was what it was called, and it was Trader Joe's sold it, and you could get a 6-pack for $2.99, and it actually wasn't a bad beer.
Like, I didn't notice anything. I didn't notice, and I would assume it's not because it's macro, but there was no difference anyway between the Molson that you buy in the States versus here. Same Canadian.
The one thing I can say is, like, you can buy Labatt products in the US that you don't see here at all, and some of them are pretty good things. Like Labatt Porter is a really good beer.
You can buy that in the US?
Yep.
But you can't buy it across provinces.
No.
I've seen that on your channel, and I'm pissed off that I can't get it without paying.
Yes, no, it is a
LCBO
good beer.
fees. Son of a bitch.
This is for you there, Ryan.
But I have a friend. I had a friend who used to drink Sleeman. Can you still buy Sleeman in the US, or could you have bought Sleeman in the US?
Well, Sleeman is Sapporo, so I mean, I suppose you could possibly find it there. I know you're not going to find Dudiciel, or sorry, not Dudiciel. Who does that stuff? It's Le Fin de Monde and all that. Who? Oh, I can't even think anymore.
So the game's delayed because whatever happened with the person, they had to take the ambulance that they have to have at the game. So they have to wait for an ambulance to show back up before they can start the game again.
Yeah, because they're not allowed to play within an ambulance there.
Yeah.
Modit, all that stuff. Who makes that? They're owned by Sleeman, which is owned by Sapporo.
But there's no
Uni
telling-
Brew, yes.
Okay.
Well, the team doctor left with the person too, like the person in the crowd.
That's pretty cool. Well, okay, it's not cool, but it shows how well supported you are. Like, you're just a fan having a good time, and something happens, and that you, who knows if they're even aware of it by now? Who knows what it could have been? But
Well, it must have happened like in one of the aisles behind the benches for everything to happen like right away, where the training staff. Like they never showed anything on the cameras; they just kept showing the players.
yeah, I only tuned in. I pulled up the NHL app and tuned into the radio while I was on mute, and they're kind of vague on the broadcast, but it was still 15 seconds into the game, so there's not really, no love lost.
Oh, the announcement: game's temporarily paused. They made an official announcement. Obviously, just waiting for the second ambulance to show back up. The players are out skating around now just to keep warm.
Are you in Ontario, Brian?
Yeah, Niagara.
Oh, Aurora.
Okay, so yeah, Bradshaw, you're in the U.S. That's why you think Moosehead is garbage, because you've had the American Moosehead, and it is garbage. I agree with you; it's garbage. And Colt 45, it's garbage too. So yeah, you're good on that. They made the Moosehead for the States as cheap as they could, so they could sell it for as cheap as they could, and it shows.
That kind of hurts my heart. We should be selling, like, if we're really trying to establish our reputation as a beer company, we should be selling stuff to the States. I'm trying to remember the name of that. I could easily Google it, but when I was coming home from Virginia, we were in the airport, and there was a brewery out of Asheville, North Carolina. They had a beautiful red ale. Let me see if I can find it.
And yeah, so for those of you wondering, the last beer for me for the night, because I have 9 minutes left, is this blender from Counterpart, and it's blueberry, blackcurrant, lemon zest, vanilla, and lactose.
Oh wow!
And Brian sent this to me.
Okay, so this happened right behind the benches.
Were they like going up the stairs to go to the bathroom or something?
Not sure. Not sure at all.
Highlands Brewing Gaelic Ale. That's what it was called. Very nice beer.
Ooh, I've never even heard of that brewery. But I mean, that's not. The U.S. has so many breweries that's fairly common to not have heard of it.
Yeah, so they're from. I found this out afterwards. They're brewed out of Asheville, North Carolina, but where I found it was just a restaurant or a diner at the airport in Roanoke, Virginia. So it could have easily have been written off as just any sort of, but it was High Point
Game's
or
back on.
Highlands Gaelic Ale, which is a very nice beer. It's one of those beers where even if you can't recount how it tastes, you just remember how it tastes. Like, you just remember it tasting fantastic. It's like how I remember when I got to Virginia, I follow some people that are from Pennsylvania, and they rave about Yuengling. And I got there, I had Yuengling lager, and I was like, maybe it was just because it was in a solo cup and it was just the way it was poured, but I just didn't see the hype about it. It's like, it's just a lager beer.
Yeah, a lot of the American lagers are solid lagers, but yeah, you're right. There's a lot of just it's just a beer. Like Bradshaw's talking about how we have the fancy beers, and he's just drinking Rolling Rock right now. Hey man, I don't mind the idea of buying a cheap 24 pack to just drink. When I have drinking beer in the house, it's usually like No Name Light and yeah, it's No Name Light from the superstore is what I buy. That's my drinking beer. It's soda water that can get you drunk. Like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm drinking. I was drinking something earlier, but I grabbed a thing of, Jameson ready to drink just for the sake of drinking. There's no standard here. It's what you got, what you want, what you need.
Oh, you're trying to find some Labatt Crystal this summer. Good luck.
I would love to find some Labatt Porter just based on what I've heard about it, but what was that milkshake thing I tried from Montreal?
Excuse me. Like an American beer, I love Bradshaw. And I don't know because you're in Kentucky. I don't know if you've ever heard of it or had it because it's from Rochester. But Genesee does some good cheap beers.
Is that where does Jenny Light come from?
Jenny Light would be Genesee in Rochester.
Okay, because like I said, I used to when I went to Rochester, that was their beer that they were selling, and it was great for especially on hot days where you'd go to be at a ball game,
and
and
especially when you take the price into account, right? Like the price was dirt cheap. Whatever.
Nice beer, like legitimately nice beer.
Yeah, it's inoffensive and it's super cheap. So yeah, I'm good with that. And then Yuengling. I mean, Yuengling has it. There's so many Yuengling beers that have a lot of hype. The Yuengling Porter didn't taste all that great to me. The Chesterfield Ale, okay. They're black and tan. Okay, I can get behind that. They're light and they're lager. Again, if you're looking at the price, they're not bad beers. I apologize for what's about to happen. Oh shit! There's a
We
big
heard
duck
that.
here. Oh god, sorry. I need a worse microphone. Ooh. Oh, it smells like garlic. Oh, that chicken's coming out already.
Thick, warm IBS fart.
When I go upstairs, I'm gonna get my wife to massage my back because it's still fucking done from work.
Oh, Flame scored. Woo!
Well, they got to win the game now for their fan.
Well, they're in Edmonton tonight.
Okay, they got to win the game to screw the fan.
Well, I don't know what team the fan had a jersey of, so.
Well, you're right. Like Edmonton and Calgary
Yeah.
are so close together that
Yeah.
we're going to go to Calgary one of these days since it's only 7 hours from here.
Yeah.
Which sounds like a lot of time for most people, but I mean, you figure whenever I had to go visit my family, I drove from Niagara to Ottawa, which was 7 hours. So
Yeah. At least there'd be no traffic on your 7-hour drive.
it'll be pretty fucking straight.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, if you go to Calgary, just keep driving. At least go to the mountains while you're right there. Another hour or two later.
I want to go to the Athabasca sand dunes, but you have to fly there.
I have a friend who's from Red Deer, and she's a Flames fan, which is funny.
One of the guys that has the same job description as me at my place of business. He is originally from Red Deer.
I mean, to be fair to her, she's originally from Castor, and their local town team is the Castor Raiders. So, but I was thinking, like, how is it a 7-hour drive from Niagara to Ottawa if it depends on where in Ottawa, but you could take a train from Toronto to Ottawa in 6 hours.
Train makes stops.
Close. True, the train does stop in other places.
No, but how
If
is
I
that? But that's
If I
Toronto
have
to
clear-
Ottawa in 6 hours versus Niagara to Ottawa in 7 hours. I guess it depends where in Ottawa.
Well, I can get from Niagara Falls to Union Station in about an hour and 10 minutes if I have no traffic. It's only 127 or so kilometers to Toronto.
I used to take the train from Toronto to Niagara to get across the border.
Yeah.
'Cause like I said, I dated someone that was in Rochester, so the train went across Niagara Falls to Buffalo to Rochester.
Yeah.
But the route that it took was bizarre because it went Toronto, Oakville, Aldershot, London, Grimsby, Niagara.
Well, I know the Aldershot area, you have to switch lines from CN to CP rail.
Well, Aldershot is like a hub in
Yeah.
of its own sense because a lot of GO
But yeah,
stations
that-
stop there. But
Yeah, that's
But
weird
it-
though, going to London.
yeah, that's what I mean. That's the weird part of
Yeah.
it. It went to London, and then Grimsby, and then
Yeah.
Niagara. And then, of course, once you cross, I had no idea up until I did it that there's a Niagara Falls, Canada, and Niagara Falls, New York. But
Yeah.
speaking of, I wanted to mention this because you were talking about fuel spills and fuel leaks. One time when I was going there, it was in the summer, and 2023, summer 2023. There was a freight train that had an engine malfunction and fuel spilled onto the tracks. But this train that I was taking went from all the way from Niagara Falls to Yonkers, Penn Station, New York City. This
Yeah.
could have happened along the way, like in Amsterdam or, somewhere along the line, but it screwed up the entire route. So once you got to Niagara Falls, you're on your own. So they told you about that. So say, for example, we left at 8:20. The accident happened at 9 o'clock, and we're due to arrive there at 9:40. So they tell you can either get off at the Niagara border and turn back and go back to where you came from, or you can go across to Niagara Falls and take care of it yourself. So it was amazing how it took them up until like Tuesday. Like this happened on a Friday. It took them about 4 days till on Tuesday until they finally got it cleared out. This was,
Wow.
this is a freight train that apparently basically had split down the middle. A bunch of propane had leaked out onto the tracks, a bunch of natural gas. They had sent a bunch of cleanup crews, but I was, so when Chad was talking about the fire that happened at the refinery, it kind of made me think of that, where
Yeah.
everything was just thrown off. But luckily for me, it was, the drive from Rochester to Niagara Falls is about an hour and a half, and you go through Lake Ontario Parkway. I kid you not.
Yeah.
Like
Nice.
it's amazing how much we share, yet how different we are. Like how far apart we are, just culturally at the same time. Like there
Yeah.
are things that they crave in the States that you can't get, that you can only get here, like honey garlic sausages. For us, they're a
Yeah.
mainstay at every grocery store, but to them, it's like, holy fuck, this is good. Or Fruitopia. It's like, what? You guys can't get Fruitopia, but you can get, how many 100,000 different flavors of candy that you want.
Yeah.
Or Heinz ketchup, which tastes different. Actually,
Yeah.
go ahead, Jen.
I was gonna say, yeah, what we're allowed to put in our food and what they're allowed to put in their food is so different. On top of that, though, guys, I am due upstairs before I lose my balls.
Oh, your ball?
Yeah, my ball. Well, remember, they're both there. It's just only one works.
Sure.
One of
has
them's
been
go for-
deactivated.
Have you gone for a physical with the new doctor yet?
Shut up. She keeps reminding me that I need to do that.
Uh,
Like right now, my back is sore, right? And I'm worried that it's my kidneys or this and that because of where it is. But I know it's the same side of my back that I've destroyed before. And I always keep talking. I'm like, well, it's here, so I don't know. And she goes, you know who can tell you what the fuck is the problem? The doctor.
Do you have a GP out in Regina?
Yeah, we have a family doctor. I went twice, and the second time she had me do a blood test, and then I went back, and she's like, your liver enzymes are high, so we need you to stop drinking for a month to see if that's the problem. I go, yeah, that's not happening. And she's like, well, why not? I go, because I can tell you why my liver enzymes are high. And she goes, what's that? Why is your liver enzymes high? And I go, because I'm an idiot, and I forgot I was doing a blood test in the morning, and I drank 12 beers on a live stream the night before. Like, I can tell you
So
why my enzymes
why
are
not
high.
why not just go back 3 days later and do another sample?
Because I had to wait the month, and I'm like, well, I'm not going a month.
Jeez. Wait, a month? What?
Yeah, she wanted me to go a full month with nothing to see if my enzymes went down. But they weren't even in the danger zone either. Like, she told me what number it was, and I'm like, but the danger zone is like 3 numbers higher than that. Like, I'm at a 6, and the danger zone's a 9. And she's like, yeah. I go, so why do I have to stop drinking for a month? Maybe if I was at like an 8, maybe if I was at an 8, okay.
This is nowhere near where your problems were, but my electrolyte levels were were way below the normal line, and as a result, the culprit was my meds. So I had to switch meds in order to please that, and that was not fun because that took about 2 months during the first round, and then took about another month in the second round.
Well, when I first, and I'm going upstairs after this, but when I first was separated from my now ex-wife, and I started dating again, I ended up going on antidepressants and all that as I was working on some of the things that had gone on with me. And the one antidepressant they put me on, I could no longer get it up. And I went to my doctor, and I'm like, I need to get off this medication. And she's like, why? And I'm like, well, because I had this older African lady as my doctor. And me and her got along really well, but she liked to make me uncomfortable. And I'm like, because it's not working. Okay. I need off this medication because it's not working. I'm single currently. I need it to work. She's like, what do you need to work? I go, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. I cannot be on this medication. She goes, unless you can say it word for word, I'm not taking you off of this. I go, it's not getting hard. Okay. Switch my meds.
Did she?
Yes. I know she did.
She prescribed Viagra to him.
No.
Prescription Viagra.
Anyway, again, thank you everybody that was here. So next Saturday we'll go a little earlier so that we can get Dave in. And we'll see if Brian can understand anything Dave says.
I hope.
Well,
thank you guys.
I mean, I'm not exactly intelligible, so the bar is set kind of low. But there you go.
He's intelligible.